So one more question.
Yes.
Is music haram, brother?
Oh, that is the longest subject.
Sorry, I know.
Music is not. There is no hadith. There is no hadith whatsoever. Sahih. There is no hadith sahih at all that music is haram. The hadith that you see Muslims being very good people. Sometimes they try to help Allah. There is many matters where you see where there is no dalil. The Muslims always, the ignorant Muslims, the ignorant but pious Muslims, try to bring people to the religion, so they make obligation what Allah has not made obligation. They try to say it is haram what Allah did not make haram.
Okay.
Just as help for Allah. They believe that Allah has forgotten something, or He did not explain it properly, so they help Him. And so music, definitely nobody will say that music is the best thing to do. Not only music, playing football, going to not really cinema in this country, but in this country probably is really not good to. It's really depends on the film. If it's a documentary, for example, about 9/11, so it's fine to go and watch it. But if something else, really a Muslim should not go to the cinema. But when we talk about haram, halal, depends on. There are something that are haram, such as drinking alcohol. There are some things that might become haram. If someone, for example, go to the cinema to watch a bad movie, that's definitely it's haram to. Allah said, "قُلْ لِلْمُؤْمِنِينَ يَغُضُّوا مِنْ أَبْصَارِهِمْ." Tell the believer man to lower their gaze. Tell the believer woman to lower their gaze. Lower their gaze is not to look to the haram. The hadith says the eye commits adultery or fornication, and that is by looking. But music and the ears as well commit adultery or fornication by listening. Listening to what? Listening to something which is haram. What is haram? Music, there is no dalil that it is haram. The hadith that mostly people rely on, the hadith which is in Bukhari, which is not marfu', which is not mawsul from Bukhari. And Bukhari intentionally did not mention this hadith as muttasil. He said, قال هشام بن عمار. Hisham bin Ammar said, when it is his habit to say حدثنا on his hadith. But here he said قال. Hisham bin Ammar said. And there is Ibn Hajar said something regarding Bukhari saying qala. He said Bukhari will not say qala except for three reasons. Either the hadith does exist somewhere else, and he is not the hadith does exist somewhere else in his book and he doesn't want to repeat it again, or because the hadith is not the saying of the Prophet, is the saying of Sahabi. This can't be applied to this hadith because the hadith is only mentioned one time. It is not narrated from the Sahabi he's saying, it's narrated to be the saying of the Prophet. The third reason is the hadith doesn't meet the condition of Bukhari. So his way to say this hadith is not my condition, is to say at the beginning of the hadith qala rather than haddathana, rather than he told me, he will say qala, he said. And this is what he did with this hadith. This is hadith very important in the issue of music. Bukhari, when he spoke about music in the book of marriage, he mentioned hadith that allow music. Then he mentioned this hadith only in the book of drinks. He should have put it in the hadith in the book of adab or in the book of marriage, because it's related to that. But he doesn't see that this hadith is strong enough. He just put the hadith like this, he will put it just as a title. He brings a lot of hadith that are weak this way. And not every hadith in Bukhari is sahih according to Bukhari. There are many hadith in Bukhari that are weak according to Bukhari. Bukhari will mention them sometimes and he will say, and this hadith is da'if. So, unlike what some people think, the hadith when it is muttasil in Bukhari, then it is sahih according to Bukhari. But when it is broken like this hadith, then it is not sahih according to Bukhari. And this hadith has someone called Atiyya ibn Qais in the middle. He is not really known to people except for Abu Hatim, who said he is salih, which means that he is not strong enough, that his hadith should not be taken. Ibn Hibban mentioned him in the book of Thiqat. Ibn Hibban will mention in the book of Thiqat anyone who is not totally weak. He is strong if he has a backup. There is no backup in this hadith. Actually, people has contradicted him in this hadith. And the whole hadith doesn't show that music is haram or the ma'azif is haram at all. This hadith contradicts clearly what is narrated by Bukhari and Muslim, which is sahih, that the Prophet heard music with Aisha, and that the Prophet was listening to music with Rubayya bint Muawwid in her wedding, to the point where he was listening. You can't say that he was just sitting there, because the girls were saying something, and then when they said something wrong, one girl said, وَفِينَا رَسُولُ اللَّهِ يَعْلَمُ مَا فِي غَدِي, and amongst us there is a prophet who knows what will happen tomorrow. When she said this is the wrong part, this is the haram, he said, leave that. But he ordered her also, and go back to what you were saying. This is his order for her to go back to what she was saying. So his order to her to sing. The issue of music, it became haram, and people say it is ijma'. That is a lie. Ijma', anybody can say it's ijma'. Of course, ijma' is a lie. Someone who says the ummah agrees is clearly a lie. There is no ijma' in the religion. There is Quran and Sunnah. When someone says the whole ummah agree about this, how can, if someone says Abu Bakr and Umar and Uthman and Ali and Ibn Mas'ud and have said something, we say, okay, where there is the chain of narrators? When he says the whole ummah agree, we say it's fine. There is no need for chain of narrators. That doesn't make sense. So, even those who said ijma', they say Umar ibn Abdul Aziz said ijma'. Narrated from who? From Al-Awza'i, from Umar ibn Abdul Aziz. Al-Awza'i was 13 years old when Al-Awza'i died, when Umar ibn Abdul Aziz died. Very unlikely that he could have gone and met him in his office. He was the Khalifa. Tabari says ijma'. It was very easy for Tabari to say ijma' about everything. He said that it ijma' the ummah to get rid of the 7 narrations of Quran. He just believed that the 6 narrations of Quran are gone, and we have only one. And he said the ummah have decided to get rid of them, and since they have decided that, it's fine. Who can accept something like this? I mean, this kind of understanding that the Prophet plead with Allah to give him 7 narrations, and then he says that Uthman has got rid of them, and the Ummah accepted it, so it's fine. And Allah says in the Quran, وَاللَّهُ يَحْكُمُ لَا مُعَقِّبَ لِحُكْمِهِ. Allah makes His decisions, there is no alterations for His decisions. So this type of ijma' are meaningless and should not be accepted. And the fact that people say that the 4 madhahib don't agree or declare music is haram, that is also a lie. Actually, if you look at the 4 madhahib, the music is not haram. All they say, okay, Abu Hanifa, people say that he says the music is haram. Where is the statement that Abu Hanifa said that? He was asked, Abu Hanifa was asked about music, about someone going to a wedding and there is playing with the music. What should he do? He said, I have been struck with such calamity. Does it mean that this is the statement that shows out to these people that Abu Hanifa says music is haram? Shafi'i, in his book Al-Umm, he says whoever play music or he go to places where there is music, if he does it regularly and he is addicted to it, in kana lidhalika mudminan, so he does it all the time, wabihi musta'linan, and he does it openly, then his testimony should be rejected. But if he does it from time to time, then it is fine. And if he does it openly, would Shafi'i say if someone drinks alcohol, 1 cup of alcohol is fine, but if he drinks a lot, then he is a fasiq and his testimony will not be accepted? So he consider, because people who say music is haram, they say it's haram just like alcohol is haram. But Shafi'i, clearly from his statement, that he doesn't consider music to be like, he considers it if someone does it a lot. And we had these statements from Shafi'i and Malik and Ahmed bin Hanbal, for example. They will say about something which is not haram, if someone does it, his testimony should not be accepted. Ahmed bin Hanbal and Shafi'i say someone who doesn't pray witr, his testimony is not accepted. Doesn't mean that they consider someone who doesn't pray witr, he's doing something haram. They say it's a voluntary prayer. They say that. Also, Malik is known that he say, I don't like that a person who has a position in his people, so a person of knowledge, that he does this kind, listening of music, this kind of things. So that doesn't show. He will not say, I don't like a person who has a position not to drink alcohol, but for other people is fine. So he doesn't consider music to be haram. Ahmed bin Hanbal say, if someone breaks someone's else instrument of music, then he should not pay any damages. But also Ahmed bin Hanbal say, if someone kills someone else's dog, he should not pay any damages. Doesn't mean that having a dog is haram. So all of these statements, but the followers later, they make these stories. And what happens between the madhab, there is this everyone trying to show that his madhab is the best. When someone says something, the other madhab will follow straight away. Shafi'i says that you have to say in the tashahhud, tahiyyatu lillah salawat. The madhab don't say that. Abu Hanifa doesn't say, Malik doesn't say that. But then the other madhab will look bad. They don't love the Prophet too much. So they will have to make it also part of the prayer. So the Shafi'is will not be better than them. And this is how the religion get changed and mixed up. The truth is, now if we talk about the Dalil, Quran and Sunnah, it will take us a long time to go through one hadith after one hadith, because people have taken their time to create a lot of hadith, which most of these hadith are invalid. It will take us probably hours, or 1 hour, 2 hours, just to talk about the hadith and to answer them. I'm just explaining here that the people who say music is haram, and they say the ulama have said, they have no dalil at all. And you find that, for example, Nawawi and Ibn Hajar, people will go to the book of Bukhari, explain Sharh Bukhari or Sharh of Muslim. At the beginning, now Muslim, at the beginning of his Sharh of Muslim, he will attack Ibn Hazm for being the only person who made music haram, halal, and singing halal. That is because these people actually, they were writing books and learning in the same time. While they are writing, they are learning. So he heard that Ibn Hazm is the only person who makes music haram. And he wrote it at the beginning of his book. Then when he comes to the book of Eidain, the book of Eid, then he is dealing with the issue, this issue. What he does, he will bring books and he will start reading. And then he lowers his tone. He is not anymore shouting Ibn Hazm is the only mubtadi' who. No, actually he will say, and music is haram according to Abu Hanifa. That's because he read in the books of Ahnaf. But because he understands his madhab, he will say, and it is makruh in the madhab of Shafi'i, and it is fine in the book of Malik. But the people will just read the beginning of Muslim. Nawawi said that only Ibn Hazm. Also, if you go to the book of Bukhari, Ibn Hajar, he will say the same thing. When he is in the book of Idain, he's speaking about the hadith of music. He will say Ibn Hazm contradicted the ulama and he has made the music haram. But when he goes to actual hadith of Bukhari in the book of drinks and then start discussing this hadith about music, he also will actually start defending Ibn Hazm. And he will say, those people who say that this hadith which is in Bukhari has other narrations, it's stronger somewhere else, they have no proof, because the hadith that is in Abu Dawud, it has sound chain of narrators. But the problem, we are discussing music. And the hadith of Bukhari mentions the instrument of music, but the hadith of Abu Dawud doesn't mention the word that we are debating about. So he will also start talking in a different manner, because now he has put the books together. Now he is dealing with the issue of music properly, and he has learned that actually it's not only Ibn Hazm who says it's haram, and he has probably it's not only Ibn Hazm who says it's halal. So if someone wanted to study whether to check, investigate whether music is halal or haram, first he must forget that people have used to consider it to be haram, because they did not used to consider it to be haram. They didn't have proof that it is haram. And all you can find these ignorant people who don't understand the religion, they don't understand the proper religion. Oh, this will lead you to, if you start listening to music, people play football and then they miss prayer. Are we going to say football is haram? It's haram when it makes you miss the prayer. People go to the parks and people watch TV. People actually read Quran and miss prayer. If someone is reading Quran and misses the obligation prayer, he's doing haram. Some people study fiqh and hadith and they get so involved and that they will not go to the mosque. They hear the adhan and they don't go to the mosque. But studying fiqh and hadith is not haram. But if you are studying at the time when the prayer is due to be done, then it will be haram. Also, same thing with the music. So we have to stop inshallah here.